this.
Right. Pallavi, thank you so much for all of that. Sanjay Jha, political analyst, is also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Jha, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Do you think this is going to be a big worry for the Congress party ahead of elections in the state of Rajasthan?
Yeah, I think so. I completely agree with you. They have postponed resolving this conflict between two very prominent political leaders of Rajasthan for a very long time. The Congress has to move quickly here because while I do think that on Karnataka they should have some good news coming their way on the 13th of May, I mean, the battle to 2024 is still long and hard. And Rajasthan remains an extremely critical state. The Congress won it in a pretty impressive fashion 5 years ago. But as Pallavi was mentioning correctly, it's a swing state and it goes from one party to the other every 5 years. So there is going to be a very natural headwind against the Congress. But, not sorting out this Ashok Gehlot, Sachin pilot, pretty palpable, differences of opinion is going to boomerang on the party if it doesn't take a more proactive stance on resolving it, because the answer doesn't lie in saying that, I'm going to reprimand somebody and, one should gain at the cost of the other. The success of political negotiation lies in making both of them come to the table and giving each one what they believe is fair and just.
Mr. Jha, where do you think Congress's hands are tied? Because in Mr. Gehlot's case, he has made a very, very fiery speech in Dholpur where he had openly accused not just Sachin Pilot but MLAs supporting him. And on the other hand, what he has done is also spoken about how Vasundhara Raje ended up saving his government during the 2020 turmoil. Nothing really was done about that speech. Sachin Pilot, on the other hand, when he was in that dharna, he was called to Delhi. However, an action is still pending, and now he has, in fact, called in for an yatra. In fact, Mr. Jha, I request you to stay on with us. Mr. Amit Malviya of the BJP is now joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Malviya, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Very interesting developments that are coming out of Rajasthan. A Jan Sangharsh Yatra has been now announced by Sachin Pilot on the 11th. Interestingly, this is going to go on for 5 days, and he says it is against corruption, right in the middle of when the results for Karnataka are going to be announced. Where do you see this going, sir?
What is really more important right now is for the people of Karnataka to see how a bitterly divided Congress in Rajasthan has led to poor development and governance in the state. Coming on 10th, when Karnataka goes to poll, they must keep this in mind because the Congress in Karnataka is a divided house as well, with Siddaramaiah, D.K. Shivkumar, and now even Mr. Kharge playing for the Chief Minister's post. Given a bitterly divided Congress, they clearly cannot deliver on governance as far as Karnataka is concerned, besides the fact that the Congress is desperate to use Karnataka as an ATM to fund the Congress party and keep themselves politically alive. So let what is happening in Rajasthan be an indication for the people of Karnataka not to vote for the Congress, because the Congress cannot deliver, cannot bring in the kind of development that the state has seen in the last 3 years, and choose wisely.
Mr. Malviya, I'd also like to understand what your opinion was on the speech that Mr. Ashok Gehlot had given while he was in Dholpur, where he also sought to, in a sense, take on two of his rivals in one go. One was Mrs. Vasundhara Raje, the other one was Sachin Pilot. Do you think it has gone completely wrong, completely awry?
Well, Ashok Gehlot is trying to fight his internal battles by firing from BJP's shoulder. Clearly, it is an internal matter of the Congress party. He has a problem with Sachin Pilot. Sachin Pilot can't stand Ashok Gehlot. It's for them to resolve. And clearly, with the weak central leadership, the Gandhis really having no sway over either of the two leaders. They continue to fight. Let's not read too much into Ashok Gehlot's speech. He's fighting for survival as far as Rajasthan's Congress politics is concerned, and there's nothing more to it.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Malviya. Mr. Jha, thank you so much for staying with us and so patiently hearing Mr. Malviya make his point. I also have a follow-up question on this very point that Mr. Malviya was making. I wanted to understand, The fact that Mr. Ashok Gehlot had spoken about Vasundhara Raje, doesn't it also rake up the infighting within Rajasthan BJP in a sense where he's spoken about not just Mrs. Raje but also two other BJP leaders who'd supported his government? Mr. Sanjay Jha, if you're able to hear me. I don't think we have Mr. Sanjay Jha with us on the broadcast, but let me give you a lowdown on what exactly has happened. Right now, there was a press conference that has just concluded. It was spearheaded by Sachin in Rajasthan. He has, in fact, given a rebuttal to all of the claims that have been made by Mr. Ashok Gehlot in that speech in Dholpur in Rajasthan. Let's listen into all of those reactions that have come in.
सम्माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का भाषण परसों धौलपुर में हुआ और उस भाषण को सुनने के बाद मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि सम्माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी की नेता आदरणीय श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी नहीं है, बल्कि उनकी नेता वसुंधरा राजे सिंधिया जी हैं। और एक तरफ ये कहा जा रहा है कि हमारी सरकार को गिराने का काम भाजपा कर रही थी, दूसरी तरफ कहा जाता है कि सरकार को बचाने का काम वसुंधरा जी कर रही थी। तो ये जो विरोधाभास है इसको समझाना चाहिए। वसुंधरा जी के कार्यकाल में जो तमाम गंभीर भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप हमने लगाए, अशोक गहलोत जी ने लगाए, मैंने लगाए, मंचों पर लगाए, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके लगाए, उनकी जांच क्यों नहीं हो पा रही थी। अब मुझे समझ में आ रहा है कि ये जांच अब तक क्यों नहीं हुई। मेरे चिट्ठियां लिखने के बावजूद मैं 11 अप्रैल को जयपुर में अनशन पर बैठा इस मांग को लेकर, लेकिन अब मैं नाउम्मीद हूं क्योंकि तथ्य सामने आ रहे हैं। कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं हो और क्यों नहीं होगी, ये बात भी स्पष्ट हो चुकी है।
With that, we are slipping into a very short break right here on the broadcast. News and updates continue on CNN News 18.